is too big.
Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? And where you should not. For my ally is the Force. And a powerful ally it is. Life creates it. Makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the Force around you. Here, between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Yes, even between the land and the ship.
While we may never be able to levitate objects with our hands or control things with our minds like the Jedis of old could, there still is an otherworldly power that we as men can have access to. A powerful force that, if harnessed and properly channeled, can give us more vigor and drive than any energy drink on the market ever could. A spiritually potent energy that can naturally provide us with more brain power, focus, and mental clarity than any stimulant or nootropic in existence. This power lies in our seed. The ancient Hindu sages have said, the vital essence, or sexual fluid, contains a high concentration of prana. If not dissipated, the power therein can be used to enhance the physical health, mental vitality, creativity, and spiritual development. For any of you that have actually experimented with the practice of brahmacharya by retaining your sexual energy in the past, you know without a doubt there is no denying the fact that this is some potent ass shit. Semen is some seriously important stuff, and it really blows my mind as to how many men will just go their entire lives without experiencing the raw potency of this very sacred substance. A lot of the old school boxers would actually abstain from sex for months before a match, not just for the increased focus and lack of distraction that comes from not chasing women around, but also for the increased levels of physical and mental performance that come along with retaining your prana, your chi, your life force, your man juice, etc.
Listen, kid, you lay off that pet shop day. Women weaken legs.
Women weaken legs, huh?
But a lot of the different benefits that come with retaining do have to be experienced firsthand. So what if you've never tried retaining your sexual energy in the past? What can you expect to happen? Well, what I'm going to discuss in the rest of the video is what benefits you should be able to expect week by week when practicing semen retention over 30 days. And not only am I going to be discussing the fact-based tangible benefits you will be able to experience from retention, but also some of the more spiritual aspects of your life that will blossom if you commit to this path. I would like to preface this entire video by saying I am not an expert, but you guys already know this. I am purely speaking out of my personal experience along with my extensive study of the many ancient texts surrounding this practice. So, what's actually going to happen if you stick it out for 30 days and abstain from busting nuts? It's a question that probably 95% of you guys are asking. I'd say probably around 95% of dudes between the ages of 15 and 30 are tapping the knick-knack at least 3 times a week, if not every day. I know this because I was one of those guys. Pretty much every single day since I was 14, without fail, I would wake up, have some coffee, hit the gym, and then come home and bust a nut to some corn. It was just part of my routine. But then when I turned 18, I started to slowly get introduced to different concepts like Nofap and celibacy and semen retention. And over that year, I started to experiment with different ideas here and there, and then started to notice some pretty significant changes. And then when I turned 19, I decided to go all in. I decided to go 30 days without engaging in any sexual activity whatsoever. No sex, no porn, nothing, nada, zero, zilch. And one thing that I noticed was that all the different benefits that I was told about didn't just come all at once. As far as the benefits were concerned, it wasn't just like, okay, the benefits aren't there, okay, boom, light switch, now they are. The different benefits came at different phases of the journey based on how long I had retained, and then they stacked on each other over time. There were a few specific benefits that I noticed on days 1 through 4, while there was a completely different set of benefits that I experienced on days 20 through 25. And each set of benefits came with their own pros and cons. But before I specifically break down what you're going to experience over the month if you retain your semen, I first would like you to understand what the function of your life force energy is. I first want you to get and understand the overall picture before we break down into the nitty-gritty. So obviously, if you're healthy, this substance literally has the power to create an entirely new life. You're like, okay, duh, Andrew, I already know about the birds and the bees. Obviously, it's there so you can make some babies, but that's the no-brainer part of it. Fundamentally, the purpose of your masculine energy is creation. The fundamental attribute of this substance is based on creativity. The definition of creativity is the ability to make or otherwise bring into existence something new. Basically, male sexual energy has the divine prerogative of creating life where there previously was no life. Masculine energy penetrates the feminine and then introduces life into the empty void. In the Bible, for example, God the Father, the masculine ideal, creates life in the void of nothingness. Nothingness is the feminine. The feminine is the empty. It's the unfulfilled potential. It's the space where life grows. It's not that masculine energy is better or worse than feminine energy. These are complementary and interdependent sides of the same coin. Think of masculine energy as the paint and feminine energy as the canvas. These two things are codependent and you need both of them to create a beautiful work of art. If you didn't have one or the other, the beautiful work of art would not exist. You need both of them. So, masculine sexual energy is unmanifested creative potential. But this principle of masculine energy impregnating the feminine does not just pertain to intimate relationships between men and women. It applies to all things. This creative power that semen possesses is not limited to the purely physical domain. It seeks to bring all things into existence, not just babies. Everything in this world on an energetic level has an either positive or negative force, a back and a forth, a masculine and a feminine, a yin and a yang, as the Chinese Taoists would say. You cannot divorce the sexuality of anything from itself in this reality. Everything, all the way down to an atomic level, is sexual energy. And remember, all energy must flow. It's like a river, it must move. As the beloved and revered Napoleon Hill says in his book, Think and Grow Rich, a river may be dammed and its water controlled for a time, but eventually it will force an outlet. The same is true of the emotion of sex. If it is not transmuted into some creative effort, it will find a less positive, less productive outlet. This energy must move somewhere. It seeks to make itself manifest. This masculine energy wants to be released so that it can create. The most basic form of this is human procreation. But if you deny the human need to procreate, the energy is still there. It doesn't just disappear. Every day, this energy will build up inside you, growing in power over time like a battery being charged up. But there's only so much energy a battery can hold before it explodes. Stay with me, because this is where things get really good. With everything being sexual energy at a core level, obviously then, when you retain the most primal and basic form of this energy, semen, things will start to change significantly in your life. They have to. There's no ifs or buts about it. You will either use this energy to create a life or you will use it to create your life. You don't have a choice in the matter. This energy will manifest itself one way or another. So now you understand the fundamentals of your sexual energy as a man and how it manifests itself as creativity in our third dimensional plane of existence. If you abstain from mindlessly spilling this powerful form of energy and you retain it, what can you as a man actually expect to happen in your life? Let's assume you just drained your battery. You blew the big one, and you're starting from ground zero. Poof, you nutted. Your body will release all of these extremely relaxing neurotransmitters into your system, telling you, congratulations, well done, mission accomplished.
Baby machine has been acquired and inserted with baby juice.
From this moment until day 4 or 5 or so, you're going to be experiencing all the side effects that come with busting fat ass nuts. You're going to feel really relaxed, maybe even a bit demotivated. You'll also probably feel weaker and a tad bit more socially anxious. Some guys even report the onset of a low-level depression. I personally do experience this, along with some pretty intense brain fog as well, but that's just me. Some people won't experience this at all. The time period between the moment you nut and day 5 is what men's sexual mastery coach Taylor Johnson calls the refractory period. Most guys think that the effects of an orgasm only last for 30 minutes or so after nutting, but the afterglow of your body releasing these very relaxing neurotransmitters actually lasts for a couple days. Basically, whatever your top level of peak performance is after you've just nutted for the next 4 days or so, you're without a doubt not going to be there. So in days 0 through 5, after your body has just been drained of its life force energy, it starts to recover and then brings itself back up to homeostasis. Homeostasis is usually achieved around day 5 or 6 or so. So from about days 6 to 12, you'll start to see some pretty significant changes. The biggest benefit most people notice in this time frame is an increase in their energy, mood, and sense of overall well-being. This one was a huge one for me when I first experienced it. I'd always been somebody who had a severe case of social anxiety, and then when I turned 18, this anxiety became exacerbated into a condition that is called depersonalization by a fungal hallucinogenic drug experience that I had. I thought this anxiety was just something I was going to have to live with forever. So you can imagine my my quite pleasant surprise when all of a sudden, as I'm going into the second week, all of my anxiety just melted away. It was just poof, gone, vanished, disappeared. It quite mysteriously floated away into the ether of nothingness. And then of course, I had the massive increase in my energy as well, which really helped with my creativity, my performance in the gym, and my overall motivation throughout my day. It wasn't the caffeinated, jittery type of energy that you get from a Red Bull. While it was quite intense and powerful, I felt very relaxed in this energy, especially if I integrated and transmuted it properly. This energy felt very flowy and smooth, and it was really just a beautiful thing to be able to experience. Most of these benefits just boil down to the clearing away of estrogen and prolactin, along with the spike in your testosterone and dopamine. I'm not going to bother to explain all the different scientific mechanisms at play here because frankly, it would take way too long to do so. I do though have another video where I dive really deep into why and how Nofap increases your motivation, mood, and strength. So if you want all the different technicalities and science behind it, I recommend you go check out that video. I'll link it somewhere down in the description for you guys. Okay, so along with the carryover from the first set of benefits that we talked about, this is where things start to get interesting. Strange things will start to happen. In days 13 through 20, you'll start to notice the addition of 3 main benefits: mental clarity and an increase in your ability to concentrate, and the one you guys have all been waiting for, women attraction. Okay, gentlemen, very sorry for the interruption, but we seem to have a bit of a problem. A lot of you guys are interested in mastering your sexual energy and eliminating some of these very detrimental habits from your life, but you keep screwing up. Like, sure, you know how much your life could improve if you just kept your hands off your freaking plonka, but somehow, somewhere between days 3 and 7, you end up cracking. Every single week you tell yourself, this is the week I will control myself, this is the week I will eliminate this very detrimental habit from my life, this is the week I will conquer this vice, but the end result is always the same. You in your bed, porn on your browser, and man juice on your sheets. I know, sad. You feel lethargic, mentally foggy, demotivated, and worst of all, ashamed. What a poor excuse for a man. Would the highest version of you be rubbing one out every other day and wasting this potent, God-given sexual energy in such a degenerate way? Obviously not, but it's not just as simple as that. It's not that you don't have the desire to abstain and retain, it's just that right now, in your phase in this journey, you don't know how to handle this powerful form of energy yet. In Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker has access to the same force that all the elite Jedi do, but he hasn't learned how to handle it yet. He doesn't know exactly what to do to integrate this energy into himself and how to allow it to power his actions. So he goes to Master Yoda so he can be shown the ins and outs of how this energy works. The only advantage Master Yoda has on Luke Skywalker is time. He has gone years experimenting and learning about this energy, reading ancient texts and learning from the other Jedi Masters before him. And so, with the experience Master Yoda has attained, he's able to teach young Skywalker how to control this energy in a fraction of the time it would have taken him on his own. This is the power of condensed information. You could technically learn how to control this force inside of you with repeated failure and time, but that would take a long time, and it took me a long time. And most guys would get discouraged halfway through without even seeing the beauty of how powerful this energy truly is. So what I've decided to do is to make a full, comprehensive guide on how to master your sexual energy as a man. In this short ebook, I break down and document the 6 key habits that you must integrate into your life if you are to master and gain control over this powerful form of sexual energy. And these aren't just like woo-woo, just think positively kinds of things. These are 6 very specific practical steps that you can take to take this powerful life force and transmute it into something positive. All the different ideas and strategies that I talk about in this ebook are things that I discovered over time, things that really I wish I had learned sooner. To be honest, I basically made this book for myself. Just because I'm a Nofap YouTuber doesn't mean I don't struggle with these things. Every single day is a challenge to master and dominate the dragon that is my sexual energy. And I wouldn't be able to do it without these 6 habits. The tools that you'll be provided with in the book are tools that I personally use myself every single day. The reason why my Nofap videos usually perform the best on YouTube, the reason they do so well is because I basically make these videos for myself. And then as a byproduct of me researching these things and putting them on the internet, there's automatically going to be other guys who are struggling with the same problems that I am, who I can help. I believe this ebook is probably the best available guide to conquering your sexual energy as a man, and that's because I use it myself and it fucking works. The things I share in the book are things that I learned from my own experience over time through repeated fucking failure. It wasn't fun. It was a long fucking journey. Once you know this stuff, you'll have no more excuses anymore, and success will be the default once you understand what I teach in the book. I wanted to make sure that this guide is as available for you guys as possible, so right now it is only $7. So if you're serious about taking control of this area of your life and blasting through the first 30 days of your semen retention journey with ease, I recommend you go check out that short little ebook. There's a little quiz that you're gonna have to fill out if you want access to the book. The link to that quiz will be somewhere in the description. But in the case that you're not interested, totally cool, my dude. Just enjoy the rest of the video. Let's get back at it. Okay, unless you're part of the 1% of people that gets amazing sleep every single night, along with having an IQ of like 145 or something, you have probably experienced the dreaded brain fog. You know, that feeling of foggy tiredness paired with not being able to remember stuff, that type of brain fog. This benefit was another huge one for me. Like I mentioned before, I had a drug trip back when I was 18 that triggered a psychological condition called depersonalization. It's a slightly dissociative mental condition that's characterized by feelings of everything being fake, feelings of being out of body, a lot of anxiety, and even a little bit of light level paranoia. For any of you that have ever experienced any sort of dissociative condition before, you know that there is also some pretty intense brain fog that can go along with it as well. It feels like being high coupled with an extremely intense hangover. Yeah, not fun. All this to say though, I probably had one of the worst cases of brain fog ever. Probably worse than any of you will ever experience. I would get distracted super easily, and sometimes it was even difficult to put together strings of words to form a sentence. I felt like my brain was broken and I literally become dumber. But when I built up my Nofap streak to around 14 to 16 days, my brain fog was lifted. I felt like I was seeing everything in color for the first time again. Every day, I woke up and knew exactly what I needed to do and how to do it. I just felt clear and sharp and fucking amazing. As cheesy as it might sound, I felt like I knew my purpose. Not like my life purpose, because nobody will ever really know that for sure, because it probably doesn't even exist, but more in terms of my purpose for the day. It seemed like it was harder for distractions to penetrate my field of vision and pull my attention away from my daily tasks. Mentally, I just felt really good for the first time in a long time, so that was great. Okay. Listen, don't kid yourself, bro. The reason a lot of us young guys get into semen retention in the first place is for the increased amount of attraction we get from the opposite gender, or the same gender, if that's your thing.
Gay!
And don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but it happens. Whenever I've built up a streak of at least 12 days or so, the extra attention I get from women is undeniable. Girls just give me like that look, you know? And no, it's not just the placebo effect. Just go on Reddit and look at the anecdotes for yourself. All up and down the thread, you'll see story after story and anecdote after anecdote of men experiencing this strange but also super cool phenomenon. But not everyone's gonna believe this, and I'm not expecting them to. You don't have to believe any of it, and I don't expect you to. This benefit of semen retention, and really all the other benefits as well, really should and must be experienced firsthand. In the movie The Matrix, before Neo could understand what was happening, he first had to wake up. Not just in a slow, gentle way, he had to be aggressively jolted from his slumber so that he could clearly understand the reality he had been a slave to. You can try to tell other people about the benefits that come along with semen retention all you want, but if they've never experienced this power for themselves, or they're not willing to question their current beliefs, then they'll tell you it's all placebo, or that you're crazy for trying this stuff out, and yada yada yada. Morpheus and Trinity could have tried all they wanted to verbally tell Neo the truth, but in order for him to understand reality clearly, he eventually had to break his current model of reality and see the truth for himself. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. That is a quote from the Kabbalion, and it clearly conveys that not everyone is ready for the truth, and not everyone can handle the weight and pain that comes along with breaking out of the matrix. You're like, Andrew, stop overhyping it. You're just not nutting. Like, it's not breaking out of the matrix. Okay, I get it. Maybe it's overhyped, but the point is, don't take my word for it. You shouldn't take anyone's word as truth at face value. Question everything you hear and test it for yourself. Use what is valuable and then discard what is not. If it doesn't work for you, that's totally cool. You can think I'm crazy. I don't really give a shit. All I'm asking is that you try it out for yourself. Retain your seed for 2 weeks and notice the difference in how not only women treat you, but everybody as a whole. Girls just smile and stare at you more. You receive more head nods from guys, and people in general are just drawn to you. If you're on this path, you'll just radiate confidence and give off an air of, I'm a man who is full of vigor, I'm a man who is full of life and goodness, and I'm a man who is worthy of respect. And people, and women especially, are going to be drawn to this. There's a lot of different theories out there on the internet as to why this happens. Some people take a purely scientific approach to it and say it's from the increase in your pheromone secretion and also your improved body language that comes as a byproduct of your increased confidence. Others take a more spiritual law of attraction styled approach to it, saying the buildup of this energy increases the pressure in your sacral chakra, spilling over into the other chakras. This increases the overall frequency of your being, thus enhancing your aura. This increase in the strength of your astral aura is transmitted into the world around you, shifting your timeline and affecting your entire reality. Basically, quantum mechanics with a flair of woo-wooiness to it. Personally, I believe there is some validity to both of these ideas, and while I do have my own theory as to what is going on down below, so to speak, my opinions are subject to change as I evolve as a person and gather more life experiences. So in that case, I don't want to tout my personal opinions as absolute truth or law, because right now nobody is 100% sure as to what is going on. The best and really only thing we can do is to experiment, stay conscious as to what is happening around us, and see if we can identify any patterns. I think it's just vastly better for everyone if we just keep open minds and share our ideas with each other so that we can more swiftly move in the direction of truth. All that to say, even if we don't know exactly why people, and especially women, are drawn to you more on semen retention, it's still a pretty fucking cool benefit that I think most guys can get on board with. So if you reach day 20, you've pretty much maxed out your system in terms of all the physical benefits you'll actually experience from semen retention. By day 20 to 22, you're already feeling great. You feel energetic, your mood is great, your head feels clear, you feel sharp and on the ball, and you feel stronger in the gym. All that good stuff. But this stage is usually where a lot of guys will end up relapsing as well. The urges here usually hit their peak around the 3rd week. This sexual energy will have built itself up substantially over the past 3 weeks or so if it's not properly integrated into the rest of your body, then you are liable to blow. Literally and metaphorically. You need to spread out that energy. Do not let the energy become stagnant. You must move it. You must allow it to flow freely, not out of you through ejaculation, but inside of you through various physical and mental pursuits. This last week of the 30-day stretch is characterized by the addition of 2 main benefits that are really more ethereal than they are tangible. The first benefit is a sense of sovereign power. What do I mean by this? Well, you will feel deeply grounded in your masculinity, and your fears will dissipate. After 3 weeks or so of retaining, you'll have a deeper sense of knowing who you are, and you'll have a better understanding of what you actually want out of life. It's at this point that I personally find I want to be alone more. I'll get this peaceful fullness at the core of my being, and I won't have the need or desire to fill myself with socializing, drinking, smoking weed, or really just any other type of external distraction. I get this deeply powerful sense of fullness, and I start to realize my need of being able to do my own thing and be free. Once I'm close to the 30-day mark, I'll start to have this very, very intense hunger for freedom and the need to be unshackled from the constraints of society. It will give you the hunger for sovereignty, but also the will to actually go and pursue this sovereignty. The sense of power that you receive isn't a feeling of like power over other people. It's not like a dominating type of power. It's like a power that just emanates itself from the core of your being. It doesn't seek to dominate, but it seeks to radiate and spread itself as a positive force without constraint. In the words of Jesus, out of his belly will flow rivers of living water. That's what it feels like. And this power comes from within, somewhere somewhere beyond. And the second benefit I usually receive close to the 30-day mark is an overwhelming sense of my alignment with the divine. After day 22 or so, you'll start to notice you have a deeper sense of connection with your spirit. You will feel connected to God, the universe, and your innermost self. You will feel deeply present and aware. Nature will seem to come to life. You will see the divine nature of everything around you, and you will receive a deeply grounded connection with all of it. The best way I can describe it in layman's terms is you just feel connected and a part of everything, and you can see the beauty in everything around you, in the rocks, in the trees, in the sky, in the people around you, even in the toaster that's been sitting on your counter for the last 6 years, even though you never fucking use it. It's almost like it says in the Bible, in the story of creation, when God creates everything on the 6th day, it says on the 7th day, he just took a step back and he looked upon all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. You just look around at everything and you're just like, damn, this is fucking cool. Okay, once day 30 actually rolls around and you hit that 30-day mark, this is where you start playing in the big leagues. This is a milestone that only a very, very tiny, small minority of men will ever hit. So if you actually ever get to this point, like, dude, kudos to you. Like, seriously, bro, good job. Breaking through that first 30 days is not easy. But even though the 30-day mark is an extremely important milestone in any man's journey, this is just the beginning. The benefits that come to you from retaining your seed do not stop at the 30-day mark. They keep on extending into the future for a long, long time. Like I said, though, a lot of these different benefits aren't able to be explained with like hard, concrete science. Most of these things have to be experienced for yourself firsthand. But even if you think all this like seed retention stuff is woo-woo and stupid, I think anybody at the very least could benefit from the more tangible benefits that you'll receive from practicing semen retention, even if you're not looking to like develop yourself spiritually per se. Like, let's just forget all the connection with God and the universe and the present alignment and stuff. Even if we just stick with the bare bones of retention, you're still getting an improved mood, higher energy, better physical and mental performance, more attraction from the opposite gender, enhanced charisma, and a deep sense of motivation and drive. It's literally everything. It's the original all-in-one package. So, like I say in all of my other videos, do not take my word for it. Take 2 to 3 weeks and cut out the corn, stop kissing bimbos, and abstain from busting nuts. Sit back and just watch all the benefits roll in. The beautiful thing about this practice is you don't necessarily have to do anything extra. This is a practice of subtracting something from your life, not adding something to it. You don't need any special pill or supplement or technique. Just keep your hand off your plonka, stop playing with the joystick, and watch your life dramatically change right before your eyes. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really hope you got some sort of value out of this. If you enjoyed the freaking video, you already know what time it is. Go smack the little booty on that like button, and then go out to that homeless guy that's always standing on the corner near the 7-Eleven and give him a big, fat, wet, slobbery smooch right on the lips. Also, if you are a young man who wants to learn how to master their mind, body, and energy, I would definitely recommend that you subscribe to the channel. I regularly post videos about all things pertaining to your fitness, mindset, and motivation. That is all for today, gentlemen, but you know, I'll probably see you around in the next video or something. Peace.